അദ്ദേഹം പകർന്നു നൽകുന്നു. അദ്ദേഹത്തെ വിഷയം അവതരിപ്പിക്കുന്നതിന് നമ്മൾ ക്ഷണിക്കുകയാണ്. BBC-യിലും മറ്റുള്ള മേഖലകളിലുമൊക്കെ തന്നെ അദ്ദേഹത്തെ ലോകം കണ്ടതാണ്. So, with our most sincere love and respect, we thank Dr. Aseem Malhotra for coming to this remote part of the world to enlighten us how to get rid of modern-day diseases which have affected the majority of our population. Becoming known as one of the most influential cardiologists in Britain and world-leading expert in the prevention, diagnosis and treatment of heart diseases, Dr. Aseem Malhotra is successfully leading the campaign against excess sugar consumption. The award-winning NHS cardiologist and successfully motivated leading academics, the media and politicians to make sugar reduction in the UK by publishing commentaries in BMJ and medium of media. We cordially invite Dr. Aseem Malhotra to present his most awaited talk. നമ്മൾ ഇത്രയും കാലം ആകാംക്ഷയോടുകൂടി കാത്തിരുന്ന, കഴിഞ്ഞ മാസം വരും, അതിന് മുമ്പത്തെ മാസം വരും എന്നൊക്കെ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മുമ്പാകെ LCHF മലയാളം അഭിമാനപൂർവ്വം സമർപ്പിക്കുകയാണ് ബഹുമാനായിട്ടുള്ള നമ്മുടെ ഇന്നത്തെ ചീഫ് ഗസ്റ്റ് ഡോക്ടർ അസീം മൽഹോത്ര. ലെറ്റ് us welcome all together with thundering applause Dr. Aseem Malhotra on the stage.
Great. Okay, I can stand here. Good morning, everybody. I'm really honored, privileged to be able to speak to you today and to be invited here to overcome that. So my talk title is Too Much Medicine and Reversing the Burden of Chronic Disease, What Big Food, the food industry, and the pharmaceutical industry don't want you to know. Okay. So I'll start with a quote from the famous late, great physicist, scientist, Stephen Hawking, and he said, the greatest enemy of knowledge is not ignorance, it is the illusion of knowledge. So forget everything you think you know about medicine, and we'll start with a blank sheet and we'll move forward. So as a doctor, my primary objective, aim, duty should be to evidence scientific integrity for the purpose of helping my patient to better health. In India, but even is a problem in the Western world, in countries like the UK and Europe and the United States, is taking into consideration patients' preferences and their values. And if you incorporate all of those together properly, then you can improve patient outcomes. But the problem we have, sorry. So let's just understand this concept because it's very important. If technical problem. Oh. So if you look at best available clinical evidence, in Stanford University, John Ioannidis says, on his analysis, in one analysis, only 7% of clinical studies published, of research published, is both high quality in terms of its reliability and relevant to patients. Only 7%. Think about that for a second. As a concept, if more than 90% of the published literature, the data that doctors are using to make decisions for patients, if more than 90% is unreliable, you're going to get a bad outcome for your patient because the information is wrong, it's corrupted, it's biased, it could be better. You're not going to get the optimal outcome for your patient. And if the patient's values and expectations are not taken into consideration when you make a decision about whether you're prescribing a pill that's going to be lifelong, such as a cholesterol-lowering drug or a blood pressure drug or a drug for diabetes, the patient doesn't really want to take it. They may stop taking it. If it's not in keeping with their values, if you don't give them alternatives, then again, this drug will not work. So this is something we need to think about as we move along. Yeah, okay, well, I think the slides will keep coming back and forth, but the other thing David Sackett said, and this is an interesting one, I love sharing this. So this is a guy who's the father of the modern evidence-based medicine movement. He says, half of what you learn in medical school will shown to be either outdated or dead wrong within 5 years of graduation. The trouble is, nobody can tell you which half is wrong. Therefore, you have to learn on your own. And that's what I've been doing. That's what, this is what we should be doing. We should, medicine is not an exact science. Okay? Medicine is not an exact science. People believe it is, but it's not. I say to my medical students when I teach them, it's more the practice of the art of probabilities. That's what medicine is. And science and evolution, it evolves. The medicine evolves. And you have to keep up to date with it. If you don't keep up to date with it, then you're not going to, again, give the best outcomes for the population and patients. So one of the root causes of this healthcare system failure we're in now is put together by two people, Muir Gray and Gerd Gigerenzer, both eminent doctors. And we have now an epidemic of misinformed doctors. So the doctors are misinformed, and therefore the patients are misinformed and potentially harmed. And what is that rooted in? So these are the 7 things. Okay? The biased funding of the research. Biased funding of research, so that's research that is funded by drug companies for the purpose of profit primarily, not to benefit patients. Then biased reporting in medical journals. Major medical journals, then you get biased reporting in the journal, maybe exaggerating the benefits of a treatment, minimizing the harms. Biased patient information, patient pamphlets. Biased reporting in the media. The media has a huge role to play. In fact, the information that comes out of medical journals, ultimately that influences many doctors and even the public, comes through the media. So then the media, biased reporting in the media. Commercial conflicts of interest, again, relate to finances. Defensive medicine. And last but not least, actually, which I'll give examples of, is medical curriculum, medical teaching that fails to teach doctors simple comprehension of health